explain to you, beyond the benefits of what the aqueous system has, the internals and how it works and why it works. First of all, we talk about an in-out head of the unit. It's made out of Norel, a non-corrosive material, so it's got a tremendous lifespan. And each unit comes with a bypass valve, and it's a full ported bypass valve, so that you don't have any pressure drop at this portion of it, unlike a regular water softener valve where the water is channeled through many ports. This is full port, and we have arrows on it to show you the inlet and the outlet. It's almost impossible to make a mistake, and those are the only connections you make. There are no electrical connections, and there is no need to run a line to drain. So it's very effective, long life. The tank itself is covered with a stainless steel jacket, and the stainless steel jacket not only looks good, but it prevents the penetration of light. So there's no chance of growing moss in the bed if you have an outside installation. The tank itself is constructed of polyethylene, which is a very, very inert material to water in particular and to most chemicals. And it's got an outer wrapping of fiberglass, and fiberglass roving so that it's got tremendous strength. Then within the tank, the first thing the water sees is our patented device for changing the hardness from a dissolved solid to a temporarily suspended solid, where it won't interfere with soap and detergent, nor will it cause any scale. At the very top is a little device where we drop the pressure a couple of pounds. When that happens, we drive off carbon dioxide, and as the carbon dioxide is driven off, the calcium goes from a dissolved solid or a calcium bicarbonate to a suspended solid calcium carbonate. Can't see it, it's microscopic in nature. Then we run the water with these seeds, I'll call them, of calcium carbonate or suspended hardness over a corrosion-resistant stainless steel mesh that acts as a catalyst. Just like the catalytic converter on your car, we create more of those seeds. Then after that, we run it through a path that has 16 neodymium magnetic fields, and we tend to clump them together. The term is agglomerate, so that they come together, create a slightly larger particle and something that won't go into solution for a period of time. Under normal circumstances, the water stays in this state for 24 to 48 hours before it redissolves and goes back to the natural water. So we're not adding any chemicals, but we are changing the state of the water so that we prevent the scale from taking place. After it goes through that device, the water is downflow. It comes out at the bottom of the tank and then up through the bed of KDF. And KDF is a very finely ground brass material. Hopefully you can get a little shot of it here. And it's the material that has that tremendous life for removing chlorine, and it does it in a very simple way. Brass is a combination of copper and zinc, and the chlorine reacts with the zinc, simply takes an electron away from it and converts the chlorine, the gas, to chloride, which is a dissolved solid. So we get rid of the taste, we get rid of the odor, and we get rid of the bad health effects of chlorine by turning it to something also in nature, which is a chloride. The material has as we say, an extensive life. The life is measured in years rather than days or months. The material, once it's used up and the electrons have been used for converting the chlorine to the chloride, that material can be sent to a recycling center or put into your personal recycling bin and smelted and returned to its natural state as a metal. At that point it'll be primarily copper. One of the beautiful things about that material is that it also has a tendency to cling to some heavy metals. So if you have trace amounts of something like lead in the water, it will also take that out. And then whenever you're looking at a tank that has a media in it, be a softener or more often than not a carbon material, there's a tendency for the bacteria remaining in the water, and there's always some type of harmless and small amount of bacteria existing in water after it's treated, will grow in a carbon bed. And it will grow because the tank acts as an incubator. It's wet, it's dark, and typically it's warm. The KDF that we use, this material will prevent that bacterial growth from taking place. You have zinc and you have copper in close proximity to one another as an alloy. And think of putting a gum wrapper on one of your fillings, your silver fillings, and that sharp pain that you get. That takes place because you have what is called a galvanic reaction. You generate a small amount of electricity. The same thing happens in this alloy, and having the zinc and the copper adjacent to one another, there's millions if not billions of these little cells set up. A minor voltage created, but just enough to upset the DNA of any bacteria that would be in the water. So on day 1, day 10, year 1, year 10, the bacterial growth just does not take place. So unlike carbon, this material not only lasts longer, but it prevents the growth of the bacteria. So we can take out the chlorine, we can take out some of the heavy metals, and we have a material that lasts for years and years and years. And incidentally, there's an interesting thing that sometimes goes past people when we're talking about chlorine. If you have a chlorinated water and you use that water to sprinkle your plants or to use on some outside shrubbery, that chlorine is going to kill the very microorganisms in the soil that the plant needs to convert minerals to organic minerals and have the plant prosper. So an excellent use for this particular water coming out of this unit is on plants and on shrubs and on trees. Bigger units might need to be employed so that you can treat the water not only within the house but also outside the house to get this benefit. So hopefully this explanation will show you that it's for real. We're not trying to violate any laws of physics, no tricky words or anything else. It's just a very simple, down-to-earth chemical process that does a job for you. Hope we enjoy your water. Thank you.